We know what people are doing. They're baking bread, sourdough notably, but bread. And so you're seeing empty grocery store shelves, even in a country that produces millions of tons of wheat. How come it's in short supply? It's a temporary thing if you're a baker. That's a good news. In the grocery store, I'll tell you where it's not in very short supply. Look at these pictures with me, because the story that we've been bringing you about the baking and the run on flour has made me think of a place that I know well, because a family friend runs it in Arva, Ontario, and we know it locally as the best mill by a dam site, because it's right by a dam. It's right on the Medway Creek, just outside London, Ontario, the Arva Flour Mill, one of the oldest functioning flour mills in North America. And it's been family-owned for more than 100 years. The current owner, Mike Matthews, who is with me in the mill right now. Morning, Mike.
Good morning, Heather.
I'm glad to see you as we speak to you before your doors open for another day. And you can show us around a little bit there in your mill and tell us a little bit about its history.
Yeah, definitely. We can do that. So I'm going to flip you around right now. Right here, I'm showing you some of the old roller mills.
How old are they, Mike?
These are 117 years old.
Amazing.
So they were installed around 1903.
That is incredible. You do not see that very many days. But this is what's been going on. As you say, your family's owned it for more than 100 years. And those mills, well, they're going full tilt these days. Look at that. So this just, tell us a little bit about what that does, because I've never actually seen up close your gear.
Yeah, so basically, inside these boxes here, you've got actual steel rollers. Mm-hmm. So you can see that. So the grain's actually going between in here, and actually you're just getting ground up, just like basically like a new mill, but, 100-year-old technology here.
And powered by run by the turbines, and those are powered by the Medway Creek, as I was saying. Okay, come back to us, Mike. So this is this historic property in Arva, Ontario, as I say. Tell us what life was like and business was like before the pandemic. What was sort of day-to-day in the Arva Flour Mill?
Well, day-to-day here was, we weren't that busy. We were holding our own. But what we were maybe milling about 25 metric ton a month of grain. And since I think it was about March 14th, is when things really started to go a little nuts around here. And we've milled about 120 metric tons of grain since March 14th.
Are you kidding? So everything changed middle of March.
Yes, yeah. As soon as they closed the schools, I think is what it was. That sort of, I think in the beginning people were panicking, but I think now it's therapeutic to bake bread. It gives you something to do at home, makes your house smell nice. I think it's good for mental health.
Well, we all need that. You're absolutely right. Give me a little bit more of the sense of the business, though. You say, I mean, obviously the quantity of grain you're milling right now has gone way up, but give me a sense of, customers and your hours, things that have changed in terms of just how you're having to work right now.
Yeah, well, that's changed for everybody that's still open right now. We installed a little takeout window, so people don't actually enter the store anymore. We cut our hours back. We're now open just 9 till 3, where we were 8 till 5, and we're not open on the weekends anymore. And the weekends were some of our busier days. But we're just trying to not interact with the public as much. That's pretty much.
Yeah, that's how it is. But you had to hire back some staffers, though. You had to bolster. It was just you working away there, and now you had to, because the demand's so great, right?
Yeah, well, we've taken our part-time staff, and we've given them a lot of extra hours. I've had to get back my retired flour miller, who's just about to turn 70 years old, so he's basically putting in full-time hours again, but he enjoys it. So we're holding our own when it comes down to some of our distributors and things like that, people that dealt with the restaurants and the bakeries, especially in your area in Toronto and stuff. They're not ordering like they were. There's a lot of people going through some really tough times. So everything's changed from wholesale customers to retail. We have lineups here almost every day. So
I know I had to talk to you before 9 because that's when you open to your customers, and they're probably lining up as we speak. What's the most popular product people are looking for?
People are looking for unbleached hard white flour is what they're looking for, and yeast. And yeast is in very high demand at the moment.
Why do you think that is? Why is flour, so unbleached flour, unbleached white flour is it, and yeast, why is it in such demand, do you think? We talked a little bit about baking, but why do you think everybody's turning to this?
I don't know. Hopefully it's just a whole bunch of people that really wanted to bake and just never had time to try to make bread before. And now there's a lot of people that, you know, it's a good thing to pass the time. Like I said before, I think it's therapeutic when it comes down to just the aroma in your house of fresh baked bread. It makes people happy. And times like this, people want to be happy, or try to be anyways.
You know what? I can't top that thought, because you're absolutely right. People do want to be happy, which is why I wanted to talk to you this morning, show of where some of the flour is coming from, and the really neat story that is the Arva Flour Mill. Thank you, Mike Matthews, for the time this morning. Can you flip around one more time? Just give us one more look before we say goodbye, since this is not a common sight. And there she be. All right. Thanks for the time, Mike, and have a good busy day there.
You too. Thank you so much, Heather.
Mike Matthews, the owner of the Arva Flour Mill right on the Medway Creek in Arva outside London.